Get Financial Insights is a monthly e-zine that you can get information that has been acquired from many captains of industry, and it's worth it. That's all that I can say. And today I'm going to talk about the dangers of working remotely. And this article is taken from Mr. Jonathan Gochera, and he's the CEO and he's also the general manager of We Secure. In this article, we are talking about when remote working started. It actually predates the 80s when people started having personal computers because they could start and work at home. But now it has been amplified after over 40 years or after even 30 years because of the pandemic. In the previous year, that is the first time that we had almost everybody saying that I'm working from home, and it has become a thing. It has many advantages, it has many benefits. But have you ever looked on the other side and weighed in the negatives of working remotely? And today my name is TJ. This is the one that I'm going to talk about, courtesy of Mr. Jonathan Gochera. The first threat or the first danger of working remotely is having insecure home networks. Let me give you a scenario of two people. There's one person who's working at the company and there's one person who's working at home, which is remote working that we have these days. So the situation that we have, we start with this guy who's working at the company. These companies, they go a mile, they go 2, they go 3, maybe they go 10 miles to make sure that their IT infrastructure is secure. They've got the perfect firewalls that are updated each and every time. They've got the tools each and every time to make sure that the networking is always intact. Therefore, the confidential and the privacy of the of the company's resources are maintained. So when somebody is working at work, he's not afraid of any situation that there's going to be a breach of security as far as the infrastructure is concerned. But if we come to the person who is working at home, it's just my computer and my trial version of the firewall and nothing else behind the scenes to protect. So you can see that insecure home networks, because it's simply consumer based when we are at home, but we're at work that's commercial. So in this situation, the privacy, the confidential files and many other things are at risk because it's not secure to work at home. So organizations, as you have learned this, it's time maybe to take an action and do something about it. The second threat that we have when we're working remotely is expanded attack vectors. You see that when we are working at home, the remote employees are very vulnerable to threats that target the web services and applications. These targets or these threats are not only aggressive, but they try as much as possible to be stealth. They use sort of like fileless attacks to evade detection in a way that even if there is a firewall, you cannot even see them. They are also very creative, and in this situation, you know that these days many people are using video conferencing, and in this situation, they can take advantage of that. We really have a new case that happened. You know that Twitter was hacked and many prominent people started sending messages that they didn't even send. And they are not only that, but even Facebook and the other giants were affected recently. So what about the people who are working remotely? They're going to be affected by that. So hackers will try as much as possible to exploit this uncertainty. So what should we do? As organizations, it is important to get providers of security. I guess we have We Secure in Zimbabwe, which can help you with a lot of these. The third one is that we are talking about remedy. Let's say that your computer has been attacked. Let's say that your services have been attacked from a person who is working at home. How are you going to solve this situation? When the person is at work, when the person is on site, it's quite easy for the IT guy to run up and cut the supply or to cut whatever is getting in the hacking. They can actually do that. But if we have a person who is working at home, the remediation is really limited. because the person working at home is going to report, I don't understand what's happening to my computer, I don't understand what's happening to my web services, and the damage has already been done. So this is one of the biggest threats that we have, because the IT guys cannot run quickly and be of service to the person that is at home. So in this situation, we say that limited remediation is there when people are working from home, and that is the situation that we've been focusing on. The other danger that a company faces when working from home is that definitely there is strained security resources. In any situation on site, everything can be done, firewalls can be built, which is bigger, which is stronger. But when a person is at home, they are not at that liberty. The person is responsible for everything that is going to happen to them. So, there are firewalls, yes, there are antiviruses, yes, but do you know what? In 2019, 60% of all the attacks that were on computers were missed by these antiviruses, you see? So do you really have the confidence to say that, I'm going to install an antivirus and things are going to be okay, and my employees are going to work remotely, and all my sources and all my resources are going to be secure? In this situation, you'll have to think twice, because this is a threat. I'm not just trying to be on the negative side here, but I'm simply saying that we gotta wake up and smell the coffee. Sometimes we have to consider the opposite side and become the devil's advocate. To finish this one up, the last threat that I'm going to talk about is isolated IT access. We can think about a scenario in which the IT department can work on a synchronized system, on a calibrated system which everybody can use, and harden it so that it can prevent any threat that is coming from the outside. But the pandemic just hit, it came, and everybody was unprepared for that. So even these days, if we say that we have to calibrate everybody's devices to the main system, you would find out that these devices that people use for personal reasons, they've got their own vulnerabilities, and they cannot simply be calibrated and be integrated into the main system. So because of this, it leaves everything and all the resources of the company not hardened and at risk. It is really a concern. It is really something that companies that have to look at, because at this point we are simply saying that working remotely has just started. Right now, in other countries that are well developed, you can see that people are even controlling cranes that are 2,500 kilometers away just on a computer. So working remotely has just started. As an organization, as a company, well, you should make sure that the infrastructure, your IT infrastructure, is secure so that you will not suffer in the future. This article was written by Jonathan Gochera, the general manager of We Secure, and I believe that they've got so many answers as far as IT problems are concerned. My name is TJ, and this is Financial Motivation.